So we've positioned the camera now towards the front of the bar, and we're inside the squat rack, so you can see the hand position for a few different types of squats that I want to demonstrate to you. We did the back squat. That's where the bar was on Christian's upper trapezius. He still held the bar a little further out with his hands, but now we're going to demonstrate the front squat. The front squat, the difference really is that the bar position now goes towards the front of the chest, and it literally sits on top of the chest on the shoulders. The hand position, though, is a little bit different. So Christian's going to get in there. His hands are going to be about a little wider than shoulder width apart. His elbows are going to flare out a little bit more, and it's okay if it just goes onto his fingertips here. The goal is to get those elbows up as high as you can. So get up under there, lift it up so everything's neutral, spine is neutral. He's going to stand up, and he's going to come back. Yeah, a little tricky. Okay, he's going to squat down, partial. I'm going to spot him as we do this. Okay, and then stand back up. Good, let's walk it right back in. And the reason we have an option here is twofold. Remember, exercise variability is really, really important for the overall development of the nervous system. So by giving him a different way of holding the bar, even though the pattern is the same, it's still a bilateral two-legged squat, what's now different is his whole how he holds the bar. And in fact, what we find is that front squats, you're not going to be able to lift nearly as much as your back squat. Positionally, also the bar moves from the back, so you might see some people kind of pitch forward a little bit more now to the front. And this allows them to stay more upright, more vertical, which can be potentially more beneficial for the long-term spine health. And finally, when you're doing back squats, the bar is going to be directly stacked on the vertical column, so there's going to be some spinal compression there, which could potentially be, I don't want to say injurious, but depending on you or your client's back issues, front squatting has been shown in the research to actually take off direct spinal loading and distribute it a little bit more across the entire structure, so there's not as much direct spinal loading, which can be beneficial if you're working with a client that has a history of back pathology, or you yourself have a history of some sort of back stuff. So just be mindful of that. Front squat can be a really useful thing. Now, it's not easy to do. It requires flexibility of the latissimus dorsi. Certainly biceps can't be in the way, and overall flexibility of the upper body is really, really important. So those are some things that you're gonna have to work on, vis-a-vis some foam rolling and or stretching along the way, and I can show you how to do some of that as we get down further in the course. One other squat variation that I wanted to demonstrate is something called the Zercher squat. And instead of holding it on the upper chest or the upper back, as in the front squat and the back squat, you're actually going to hold it inside your elbows. Now, initially this might be a little uncomfortable, but it's a really interesting variation because it changes where the position, the loading is on the human body. So the nervous system is going to get stimulated a little bit differently than it would in a back squat and or a front squat. So what do? Basically, bar is going to be sitting in my elbows. I'm going to make sure I'm centered on the bar. I'm going to stand up with my bar off the J-hooks, and I'm squatting down. Standing right back up. And so that's your Zercher grip squat.